everybody, this is Adam Pecoraro with Flexoraro Fitness, and we're going to be watching my friend Alex do her personal training session. Alex is starting with a shoulder exercise. She's using a 10-pound plate, and we're going to loop it around the head and then extend it towards the front. Now, this kid right here is a really hard worker, but she has an issue with the middle of her back. It's been ongoing for a while, and while I am happy to say there have been improvements, unfortunately it's still an issue. So overhead pressing is something that's very uncomfortable to her back, and we've tried several times to do the exercise and modify it all kinds of different ways, and it's just not something that she feels safe doing. Now, the same thing is true with rear-loaded squats, so we have to find alternatives for her shoulder exercises. This is one of them that works on both mobility and strength. Now she's doing a body weight squat. Now you can see that she's getting all the way down to 90 degrees with her weight in her heels and driving up from that position after a nice moment of just validating the stability. See how she waits and then drives up. Now, after doing her shoulders and her posterior chain and the legs, she's going to lie down so she can have a different dynamic. So resting the muscles that we just used and now trying to do a different emphasis. That's active rest. So here for her abs, she's doing elbow to knee, and then on the same side, hand to foot. Same thing on the other side. So we're getting a little bit of leg lift action, which creates the lower ab recruitment. We got our shoulders coming up, which creates the upper abdominal recruitment, and we have rotation. It's a great bang for your fitness buck. Now next we got her back up on her feet and we're doing alternating reverse lunges. For a lot of folks, this is my go-to strength routine for the legs. It's a foundational routine that works on the squat, the reverse lunge, the lateral lunge, and the curtsy squat. Just so that the hip mobility is solid, they can move in different functional planes. We do it very consistently so that if nothing else, they're functionally able to carry their own body weight on different angles and in different movement patterns. So now we're going to put her on the ground, and I wish we could say that we're resting her legs, but it's kind of a secret thing here. See, her legs are working on these leg lifts, right? Because you got to use your hip flexors and your quadriceps to bring your feet up. I have her squeezing a Nerf ball between the arches of her feet to continue to emphasize the muscle recruitment in the legs. Her lower abs and her legs are getting work in these leg lifts. Everything's being done for 1 minute of maximum quality reps, and we have a 30-second recovery interval. In this workout here today, Alex does 3 times, and you are watching her last set, her third set. Okay, so now we move on to the alternating lateral lunge. You see this in a lot of our videos. So we're gonna hinge the hips back, just like a squat, and get a nice dynamic stretch on the inner thigh, the adducting area of the leg, and she's gonna drive up from the heel where her weight is shifted to. And as you go through these motions, I think that it's very important to remember that you can always make your lunge more shallow if you need to, especially if you don't feel safe. You want to feel a pleasant pull, so don't force range of motion. But with time and patience and consistency and effort, your strength, mobility, and just general flexibility are sure to increase. Okay, so next I have Alex doing a crush grip incline chest press. This is another exercise that she's not so confident with, although I think she does a great job. Now, the crush grip gives her a little bit more stability and muscle recruitment than if she separated the weight. So that's why we're doing the crush grip more than any other reason. And remember, mid-set rep breaks are always okay. Dropping weight, always okay. It's the wise thing to do. Now to complement the pushing motion she just did with her front, now she's going to do a rowing motion for her back. The terminology I always like to use is plane of motion. So it's a similar plane where she was pushing forward and up and now she's pulling straight back. Although not identical, the idea is to try to balance out her ability to do any and all motions, but also to make sure that there are no imbalances. So we usually do total body if we have folks only once or twice a week, and that's the case with Alex. Okay, so now we go on to bodyweight curtsy squats. So she crosses behind and her front leg is going to take the majority of the weight. Now, when you cross behind, it's very important that your front knee stays behind your toe. So if you're not nimble enough to keep your leg really, really close in the X, then you give it some length. But crossing behind is about functional ability to find yourself getting up off the ground in maybe an unconventional posture, or having to step over something or kneel down to pick something up. And it could be a crowded room, it could be a lot of debris on the ground from moving, or kids leaving their toys out, or pets, whatever the case might be. Alex happens to work in a vet clinic, so she does have to deal with pets and things on the ground and lifting and twisting and turning. So it's very important that she can get up and go down to the ground in any way that might be required by her profession. Okay, so now we do some tricep pushdowns. A tricep pushdown is going to work all three heads of the tricep, the long, the lateral, and the medial head. And this one here again is going for maximum quality reps. Look at her get it. Girl ain't playing around. I think she could do a little bit heavier weight, but that's pretty good. She definitely got some tenacity with that pull. Good job, Alex. Okay, now we're going to move on to a single arm high cable curl. And this is a great exercise for hitting the short or the inner head of the biceps. And that builds width and thickness in the muscle, as opposed to the long outer head, which is responsible for like biceps peaking. Now, you have to remember, ladies are not going to change their genetic makeup unless they were to take hormone therapy. So Alex is not going to bulk up like a man. But what we are talking about when I'm talking about building width and thickness is not to make her look like the Hulk, but to give her a look of tone so that we can get the wiggle and the jiggle out of the arms that a lot of folks are self-conscious about. And while we do that, why not get a little stronger too so that you can feel more confident and capable in daily life? Okay, and that's everything for her workout today. Again, she did 60 seconds of maximum quality reps, 30 seconds of a recovery interval, over 3 sets, and before she did this we had about 5 minutes of a warm-up on the elliptical bike, and we did a thorough stretch at the end. Hey, thanks so much for watching. It really helps if you click the like button, and if you leave a comment, I'll respond. Have a good rest of your day. See you next time.